you like me now?
All right, and now we finally have made it back to Chicago, and it's been a couple of days. We're recording this on a Tuesday. The show took place on Saturday, but we promised we would give reactions to the show that we saw. We weren't able to do one on the car ride back. Had a long car ride back, good car ride back, and now we're here in Chris's office, his place of work after hours, and it is myself, Charlie, and Chris. Introduce yourself. How you doing?
Yep, doing all right, man. So just had a great weekend. We had that Lasalle trip.
Yep.
Great AAW show, and then following that, attended C2E2 on Sunday.
Yeah.
I
didn't. You did.
Right. It was an experience of its own, which I actually recorded a podcast right after because I was so excited of my experience and the Lucha Underground stuff that I encountered. So, you guys will hear about that at a different time.
Yeah, Chris has a solo pod and actually had a really, really interesting story. You have a knack for meeting and greets. I feel they just come natural. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. The buddy that I went with, he's like, bro, like you just like everywhere you go, you either get lucky or you know a guy or you'll do this, that, and the other. So yeah, I was fortunate enough. You'll hear about the famous golden ticket. That was access to everything and all Lucha Underground.
Run home, Chris. Run home as fast as you can. Yeah. It's like Chris in the Lucha Factory. I don't think luck has anything to do with it. I think you're just a personable. You find something to talk about. You're easy to talk to. So
and my thing is like, and I think I probably said this at a different podcast or something. Like my thing, whenever I go to a sporting event or things like that, like it's just like act like you belong. If they tell you don't belong there, then that's fine. Like just get removed, but not doing it maliciously, but just act like you belong. A quick story: at my first Blitz event, we had to make a line to meet Kurt Angle, and I had I had a big camera, and I'm like. I started thinking, I'm like, I'll just walk up there. They'll think I'm a photographer. And
why did you have a big camera with you?
Because it was my first indie show. That was my first indie show, and we were meeting.
So you brought a professional
and
camera?
I bought a big DSLR camera, and I was like, we're gonna take pictures, and this is gonna be great. So like the camera allowed me to just cut the line and take pictures and do a meet and greet without having to go through all the.
Did Angle say anything?
No. Like he was down. He was there taking pictures, signing autographs, and I paid for my 8x10 because I got one. And but before that, I went in there taking just kind of general pictures so I could give the impression that I was a photographer.
So did it have like the camera strap and everything, or?
Yeah. Yeah, and I took a few pictures, during that time, and then after I was done, I went to the car, put it in the car, and enjoyed the show.
Is that the mark-up moment of the year for you, bringing a professional camera, or that year that you went to that Blitz show?
Probably, bro, because I didn't know what I was going to expect, like it was we bought tickets because Kurt Angle was going to be there, but Sabu was on that card. Oh,
Sabu was there?
Yeah.
How many years ago was this, like 2 years ago? Maybe more?
Yeah, probably through 3 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Because I've been to 3 Blitz events, and then they have their main card. Do you remember what's it called? Blitz Mania or?
Oh yeah, the WrestleFest.
WrestleFest,
right?
Yeah.
WrestleFest is their WrestleMania. Yeah.
So anytime I've been to Blitz, has been to a WrestleFest, and I've done 3.
Cool.
So yeah, that being my first indie show, I took a big old camera, and
That was your first indie show ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then after that, we came across AAW and been there since.
Yeah.
And freelance, and then I think Lucha. I've been at the Temple, and I've never brought a big old camera ever since that.
I would consider going to another Blitz show because did you see who they're bringing in recently?
Yeah, they're bringing Marty the Moth, and I think they actually had a show with Marty the Moth, so he's been a constant there. I don't know the name of this guy, but I know he's going under Luchasaurus.
Yeah,
He's
that
one
guy,
of the new characters in
right.
Lucha Underground. I
Oh,
can't
he
remember
is?
his name.
Okay.
But the crowd started chanting Luchasaurus, and I think he just adopted that, and he's wearing the mask and everything.
He's a season 3 guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know, I want to say it's Damien 666 or something 666. I know there's a Damien 666, but there might be his brother or somebody else
Okay.
that they're bringing along too. And they're beefing up their cards with not necessarily big WWE names.
Yeah.
Because that's what they would normally do, bring legends and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that they're bringing something different. So
Yeah.
you know,
I really like Marty Nemoth. I think he's great in Lucha Underground.
he was there at C2. He didn't have a table or anything, but he was like lurking around and kind of doing the Melissa Santos creepy bastard thing.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I would have loved that. He actually, I think he responded to like one of my Twitter DMs.
Uh-huh.
I basically just said like great work, keep doing you, or
That's
something
right, I
general
did,
like
yeah.
that. It might have been on the Two Heels
So
on
it
the
was
Face
on the
Twitter,
Two
yeah.
Heels, yeah.
But I think the creepy
Bastard.
gimmick. I think he
Yeah.
does that so well, like really really
Absolutely.
well. So yeah, I would consider a Blitz show in the future. But that's a great experience. I'm looking forward to listening to your C2E2, and then we'll be uploading that probably
sure.
shortly after this. And
So let's get right to it, bro.
let's get to it. So there's a decent amount of matches on this Path to Redemption card, and I did not have a ton of notes for all of them. There's some matches where just like one or two quick things stuck out to me. So I think we can rapid fire through some of these.
But prior to that, what was your first thoughts or reaction to the venue and to the layout? Like, what were you thinking? As like, because I remember we talked briefly. Like once we got there, we were like, this is. I was expecting a small venue, but you brought up the live feed that sometimes they'll have, and it made it
Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Yes. The Facebook Live, they did a Facebook Live for one of the matches in LaSalle. And the way the camera was positioned, it looked like the venue was large, a pretty large venue. So when we got up there, it was smaller than I expected. But there was enough room for everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that small venues are bad, because Berwyn's small and that venue's awesome, in my opinion. But it was just I had different expectations going in based on just that Facebook Live video that I saw. The screen, they had a screen up there, which was cool.
Right.
But there was like a light post right in front of the screen.
Oh yeah, from the angle we were sitting at.
Yeah,
I think from a lot of angles.
Probably from our whole side.
Yeah.
Like our whole side of the ring. That was hard to watch that screen just because of the light post. But I have a note on promos that I can touch on later. But the people working the concession stand, super friendly. Got some free food at the end of the event. Didn't even need to ask. There was like a ton of leftover hot dogs that were just going to go to waste.
Yeah.
So it was cool. I mean, the drive, we kept busy on the drive with the podcast that you, the listener, heard. So it wasn't bad. Like, I don't know. I know I can do a general summary at the end, but what did you think of it?
Yeah, no, I think. So first of all, we ended up going through a side door.
Yeah, we went through the wrong door. Yep.
We went through the wrong door. But then we found Tony at the ticket table, and we were able to get in. I mean, it was good, I think, and we were there early enough.
Yep.
To be able to get a good spot at the GA side.
Yep.
And I mean I think overall venue wise, like, yeah, it's a small venue. It's, and like you said, it's not a bad thing, but and obviously there's room maybe for improvement if that light wasn't in the way.
Right.
But I mean, the little things that you can nitpick about, but I think it was good.
Yeah.
Different ring, the blue ring.
Different ring. It wasn't their ring. It was someone else's. It was the ring left over, I think, from
Dreamwave.
From Dreamwave, yeah. So, first match on the card, Brubaker, a guy I've seen at Pro Wrestling Blitz, and one half of Zero Gravity, Esparza. They were in a tag team against two of the new guys from new AAW,
guys, yeah.
newer steadies, you could say.
Yeah.
Trey Miguel and Stephen Wolf. Esparza and Brubaker, that's a heel face tag team. And
it's interesting that Sparsa was doing the heel gimmick. Usually they I mean, zero gravity comes as
Yeah.
a babyface.
Yeah, he was a little bit, and then after the match, Brubaker turned on him, got his heat back. Trey Miguel and Stephen Wold ended up getting the win. It was a fine opener. I don't really have much to say about this match, do you?
No, it was a good opener. I mean, it definitely kind of brought the crowd in and like let them know like this is the show, like, and we're kicking it off because I mean, we have Trey and Wolf who are like fast paced, you
Yep.
know, high flying, very athletic, and obviously you get that with Zero G's as well. But I think it was a fine match.
Yeah, it was a good start. Next was a local LaSalle guy, LaSalle's very own Mike Hartenbauer versus Danny Adams, the millennial. I love that nickname for Danny, not LaSalle's very own, but I love the millennial as a nickname. That is perfect, and that's a perfect because millennials get a lot of shit, and I've talked about this on another podcast I have. So we don't need to go into that and like the whole Simon Sinek video, but millennials get a lot of shit, and Simon Sinek breaks it down in multiple ways. And I think that's a perfect heel gimmick, basically, to be like a privileged millennial that like just connects.
And definitely the crowd, like LaSalle's very own, right? Like the crowd gets behind Hartenbauer a lot. Like there's signs of him. Like the crowd has signs for him and everything. So I haven't seen much of his work. I heard his name before, but you know, I mean, I'm sure he'll be a constant, or he is a constant in LaSalle.
He looked a little out of shape, to be semi-critical. And I don't know. That's maybe,
he was saving his energy because he did double duty, bro.
He did do double duty, but maybe, he's got, this is AAW now, so if he's going to be here, this is the big leagues of the indie scene.
They've raised the bar so high, right? Like we expect.
Yeah, it's true. It's damn true.
Dun, 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 dun.
Did you? Oh, Scott, there's something that popped in my head, and now I can't think of it. There was a sign guy. Did you see the sign guy over to the left of us? He had like all of these pre-made signs, and they were all the kick out at 2 sign, the holy shit sign, which is basically emojis of the smiley face with a halo around its head, plus the poop emoji. He had the holy shit sign. And then like a bunch of other generic ones. There was like I think a boo sign.
Probably, but yeah, he had several signs. And
then I think he had a LVO sign. That sounds very own.
Right, that's right.
It was like he had like 6 signs, and then there was a new sign on the front and back of each. So he had like 12 total that he was just rotating based on the situation in the ring. I just thought that was funny. So Hartenbauer did win this match. I have a note here: promos on the screen. Thank you. Yeah, fantastic stuff. There was promo for Chuck E.T. and his birthday, and it also being Earth Day. Veda and Gregory Iron had a good promo. Fitchett had a promo. Alex Daniels had a promo. And I felt like there was a consistent theme of the promos almost ending, and then someone saying, like, wait, did we tell you to end the promo? You can't end the promo. And there were, like, in 3 out of the 4 of them, there was that theme. Thank you. Just thank you, AAW for doing that for us. It was much needed because we didn't get that at Joe's, so.
Yeah,
it's great stuff. Told the story. Any comment on that?
On what? On the promos?
On the promos.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I enjoyed it. Again, going back to the screen, we couldn't see what was going on a lot, but I mean, overall, the fact that they did promos in the ring, we had backstage promos, tying, giving us a reason why they were about to go against each other.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Daniels, I think, was in the ring, and then the others were on the screen, but that's a good point. Next match was Paco, who's a favorite. He's a fan favorite.
Bro, so do you remember Paco? Like, I've seen Paco several times.
I know I've seen Paco wrestle before.
But he's just, like, as soon as he came out, like, because I think my first AEW show, he wrestled Silas Young.
Okay.
So, Silas being a super heel all the time and, cutting those in-ring promos before the matches, like, automatically, made Paco the babyface. And ever since, he's always getting a pop, like...
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, he seems like he's got a lot of good babyface energy, but maybe it's just because his name's so fun to say and like
Paco.
I don't know. Yeah, Paco and some guy named Ace Perry, who I've never heard of, and versus Braxton Miller and Buck Nasty, accompanied by Scarlett Bordeaux, who was looking fine. Buck Nasty is very, very, very kooky. I love it.
Yeah, I definitely.
He's super innovative. I feel just like his reactions. and the way
He's
that
very
he does
unique
things.
in the way
Yeah.
he moves in the ring. Even though like after taking a bump, he like exaggerates a little bit.
Yeah.
Or even when he's walking up to his opponent, he does those big stomps and moving his arms a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came out first, Braxton and Buck Nasty, and
With no hoverboard.
no hoverboard. Yeah, I think it's done for good. And then Paco and Ace Perry came out, and like Buck Nasty, instead of just like getting out of the ring so the faces could get in the ring, he like slid on his stomach and like an army dove like out of the ring under the bottom rope. I just think that's an example of like weird shit he does. That's funny.
For sure.
So Paco and Ace Perry got the pinfall. I don't remember too much of the match except for some Braxton, Buck Nasty antics, but I thought it was fine.
Yeah, for sure. I think there was maybe a Scarlet distraction at some point.
Yep.
But overall, it was a good match, and again, like it's always fun seeing Paco. Who else did we had after that?
Chuck Taylor versus Alex Daniels.
Birthday boy.
Birthday boy. Yeah, I remember everyone was giving him a lot of congratulations after this match, and it was his birthday, Chuck. So that's cool to see. Alex Daniels is the real life Ben Affleck.
That's right.
That's his gimmick, and he had 3 Ben Affleck shirts on. And then there was multiple Ben Affleck's movie quote references during the match. So it was like comedy on comedy, which is a perfect match for Chuck Taylor. One of the quotes was "No more reindeer games," and I thought that got like a good pop. It was funny. Chuck Taylor always has a place on my card, in my opinion.
Yep, I'm 100% on that.
Anything else?
I don't remember much. Like now that you mentioned the references and things like that, like some of it comes back. But yeah, like you said, Chuck's on the card, Chuck's on the match. Like it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I really enjoy his work. I'm hoping. Did you ever see the video where he did that atomic bomb?
Atomic drop.
Well, right, atomic drop, but he mimics like he has a grenade of some sort.
Oh no!
And then he like puts it, in his opponent's pants, and then he does the atomic drop, and then like everybody blows up in the ring.
Oh,
you've never seen that?
No,
I've seen it like once or twice, and some YouTube videos or some tweets that people put out there. But I've always been waiting for him to do it at AAW. But it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully, it will. So.
Yeah, he scoop slammed Alex Daniels and said, "This is for Batman versus Superman," because apparently that movie sucked. So I thought that was really funny. And after that was Matt Fitchett versus Zachary Wentz. So I felt like this is where the card started to just pick up a little bit in action. Fitchett versus Wentz. And although these guys are usually in a tag team, I thought they did fine in singles match. But it was just, it was fine. It was okay. It was a little bit better than I think everything we've seen on the card right now. But I feel like these two do really well in their respective tag teams. Fitchett versus Wentz.
Yeah.
Next was Holly versus Mil Muertes.
Right.
Hardcore Holly came out with his classic WWF music, which was...
And classic outfit.
Right. Yeah, white boots, pink and blue in the spandex. I thought it was great. He was very appreciative of the Lasalle crowd. Him and Mills' match was one of the biggest draws for me, and I felt like it was almost, you could kind of tell they had, maybe, I don't even know if like they knew about each other before this match, because I don't feel like the chemistry was there. Not that I didn't enjoy the match, because it was cool to see Hardcore Holly. There was some rough shoulder blocks, a power slam, et cetera, a couple of Alabama slams, but it almost seemed like them being too random. Yeah, them being too random and two big guys, there wasn't a ton of chemistry. That's just my opinion.
Like I agree with you on that. It was missing a little something. I don't know if it was chemistry that wasn't there, but who knows? It could have been a language barrier.
Yep.
Although I think Mills speaks some English. Not sure. I tried speaking to him in Spanish, and he's also known. He's known as a wrestler without a mask in Mexico.
Yep.
So I don't know if he's still, because he does the Lucha Underground thing, he does his thing and takes off the mask, and maybe he's not really used to talking with the mask. He doesn't do a lot of talking. So I chucked it up to that he didn't say much when I interacted with him.
Okay.
He had a handler with him at the table.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was two guys from different worlds, and not clicking. So it could have been some of that. But the match was just punch, kicks, and some slams.
Yeah. Maybe like more heat on Mill.
Yeah. I feel like that's right on. Like he needed a little bit more heat to be the heel because clearly, Hardcore Holly was a fan favorite. He was a babyface in this match.
Yeah. And I don't know, like Mill in Lucha Underground almost like scares me. Like he's so godlike and will like just rip someone in half if he needs to. Oh, there was a spear. There was a Mill spear. I remember seeing that. I think that's what he uses as his finisher.
That was that was the start of the match, right?
Yeah, maybe. It was like really
took
early.
Off right away with the spear, I think.
Yeah. So maybe just like more heat to the point where like I don't know, maybe you're hurting this old man and he just doesn't care. And I would have been cool if he came out with like his cape and his garb and stuff like that. Yeah. He just didn't seem as menacing to me as he usually does. I don't know.
And then at the end of this match, the crowd thanks Holly for coming out, and then he cuts a promo, right, where he comes out and he talks about like he thanks the crowd obviously, and then he gets a couple of Hall of Fame or Hall of Famer chants. You remember this? Mm-hmm. And he thanks the crowd and whatnot, and then he also announces that he'll be back. And he's going after Sammy.
Yeah. He's going to wrestle Sammy Callahan in August. That's when they're coming back to LaSalle.
Right, and that's the comeback to LaSalle.
Yep.
So
that should be an interesting one. I wonder if Sammy has the belt then, probably, in August.
Right. I mean, I don't know who's going to take the belt off of Sammy now.
Intermission.
Yeah, this was the time that I used to send a few texts to the CFO of the household and get approved on some expenses.
You got the Mill package, the Mill combo? What was the Mill combo?
It was the mask, it was a shirt, and an 8x10.
Yeah, for
$150.
Okay. So that was a mask, a shirt, and an 8x10?
Yeah.
I feel like a mask itself could go for $150.
Yeah.
So that was a deal, in my opinion.
I was trying to poach his in-ring mask, but he was selling that for $300.
Yeah, that's pricey. Phoenix's in-ring was he gave you the deal on that.
Right, he gave me a deal, but his price is $250.
Oh, in-ring?
Yeah. So
yeah. That was funny though. Yeah, I remember you like I got the call or I got the okay, and then you come back with all this Mill merch.
Yeah,
that was sweet. After intermission, we saw Veda Scott going to take on Samantha Heights, who Veda Scott, by the way.
You had never seen her, right?
I've seen a picture of her.
But like not in ring, like not in person.
Not in ring, not in person. Mm-hmm. I was just like, God, she's pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe I just never like really took a look at her. But
it's the glasses, bro.
It's the glasses. Yeah, the glasses, the hair, the attitude. Mm-hmm. I think it's like the Office. She's got like the Office, hot sales chick thing going. I don't know. That might just be a personal thing, but I was like, damn.
Well, we gotta go check out your Office, I guess.
I've just never seen enough of her stuff, and then that made me like want to go. Like I saw some of her Ring of Honor promos and like things like that. She can really talk, so that's great.
Yeah, and she came out accompanied by Gregory Iron, who we hadn't seen in a while.
Yeah, is it Iron or Irons? It might be Iron.
Yeah, I might be messing it up now.
I don't know.
But I like it. I like the heat that he gets, and
yeah, he's really good on mic too.
Yeah,
very good at relating his cerebral palsy, right, to and getting heat from it.
Yeah.
And like he holds the microphone with that hand, and yeah, so they're like a. It's almost like two. Like they should separate them because they're both really good at talking, but they work really well together. So it was Scott versus Samantha Heights, and then Hartenbauer came out. To
even out the odds, right? Because she was
to even out the odds, and it played on the story that was in one of the promos earlier. Great storytelling, and it became a tag team match, and I believe Gregory Iron got the schoolboy roll up. Victory on Samantha Heights. I want to say.
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm. So keeping that heat alive.
Yeah, intergender stuff, which is cool, and yeah, it was fine. And Heights and Veda didn't really do It was mostly like catfighting a little bit here and there.
A lot of
it wasn't a lot of technical
roll out
stuff.
the ring type of
Yeah.
stuff, and but they had a few spots or whatnot. It wasn't a long match either.
No, it wasn't. Next match, show stealer, probably, and the longest. Big Mike, consistently for like the past like 3 AEW shows that I've been to, probably
that's safe to say 3. Yeah.
is stealing the show. He's been like consistently really, really good, and he faced Daga. Mm-hmm. Daga's first AEW
show?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure about that, but it was his AEW debut, and like a lot of wrestlers, right, like that we've seen come from I guess the Rebellion right now, like when they come to AEW, it's like this is home.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was the promo after, right?
Mm-hmm.
First,
let's get a Rebellion. Sorry, I just had the thought. I'm like, let's get a Rebellion versus OI4K.
Oh,
yes,
that's already kind of happened in more ways than one, right?
Right.
Get Ray down here. Mm-hmm. That'd be great because there's 4 of them, right? Well, there's 4 that can go.
Yeah, I mean, right now we have.
Or we could.
we could even if it's a 3-on-3, like Penta, Phoenix, and Daga versus Sammy and the Christ brothers.
Yeah, we could do that. Or like a killer cult. Get Ray down here.
Oh, okay.
Do Abyss.
Now we can throw Abyss in there.
Throw Abyss in there.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't really like Abyss, but no, we just give Abyss shit. But that would be really cool. That's a great idea, actually. But yeah, so Ray calls AEW, or Ray Phoenix calls AEW his home, and I think Daga is probably in the same situation, right? Like looking for more work now because of the Rebellion.
And I mean, to fast forward to the end of the match, he also thanks the crowd, and there's a please come back chant, and so as he's cutting his promo, right? Like I'm like, all right, Charlie, move out the way. I go up there because I'm like, all right, I want to give him props and throw in a few dollars, to get the crowd, to show their appreciations for the match or whatnot, in luchador style, right? So I'm throwing my dollar, it hits the post.
Oh.
And
did it get picked up?
It got picked up near the end, but it was like, nobody's throwing in dollars, so let me throw in another one.
I think you started that trend.
So I threw the other one in, and then people started, throwing them in, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. Because also Daga had, I don't know what his travel arrangements were, where he was coming from. He didn't have a lot of merch on the table.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of merch. I didn't even recognize that he was standing there, remember?
Yeah.
Because he had like a backwards hat on and like Under Armour. He just looked like, I don't know, I thought he was like a Paco or an Ace Perry, or like he just looked like a wrestler, but he didn't have any merch. Yeah. And then you're like, dude, that's Daga. I was like, what? Like he was just he was so blend in with just like the regular crowd.
So, and when, because I was trying to buy, a shirt from him, I know I said I'm going to keep it down on the shirts, but it's Daga.
Don't let her hear you, bro.
She saw me come in with the Mil Muertes shirt. She's like, oh, well, that's going to be washed separately. That has glitter all over it.
I know, the glitter shirts, and then Luchador's got to stop putting glitter on the shirts. I'm not a fan of that.
Or at least, whoever makes them, don't overdo it with the glitter.
Yeah, man.
You're ruining the rest of our clothes. They get washed separately, and the trick is to lightly pass the lint roller over it after it's being washed.
Okay.
So you remove the excess glittery stuff, and whatever sticks, it's not going to fall. So I figured that one out. So tip for those out there.
So you wash it once.
While it's wet. You do the lint roller. It picks up all the glittery stuff.
All the loose stuff.
Yeah.
Or is there still glitter on it, or after you do that, or no? It's all.
Yeah. You're not going to hardly press on it. You just lightly, put the lint roller on it, and then throw it in the dryer, and you're good.
All right.
So that's what I did with the Lucha Brothers and the Pentagon after, several washes. the Pentagon was the first one that I had glitter all over.
Right.
And you had the same issue, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Mills is going into that bucket first. But yeah, I know that Daga didn't have many different sizes or a lot of merch. Mm-hmm. But I really wanted him to get the AEW experience, and that was my way of saying, like, embrace him and throw $1 and see if people would follow, and they sure enough did. So
yeah, that was great. Elgin said that he thinks Daga's found a home. Mm-hmm. And Elgin now is going to face Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
At the show that I will not be at, but you'll probably. Did you get your ticket for that?
I have not gotten my ticket for it.
Take no prisoners, right?
But yeah, at this point, I'll probably go home and buy it tonight or something. But I'm gonna go. Like,
Take No Prisoners a year ago was Penta versus Ray, right? Ray Phoenix.
oh, bro, that was
That match was
that's when I
amazing.
threw my 100 pesos.
Oh, you have pesos on you?
Yeah, so you didn't. Okay, so maybe you didn't know the story. So because we were briefly talking back then, I think we knew of each other.
We knew of each other.
So I got stage tickets for that, and that's when I bought the first Pentagon Junior and Phoenix mask, because that's when I think they were barely starting to come to AEW.
Yeah, they would only come a couple
Okay,
times,
yeah, and I'm like,
since that, or
and
maybe
there
that was like the second time they
second
came.
or third time, I think, and so I bought their masks. I want that mask. I don't know if they're gonna come back. At that point, I'm like, I don't know how often they'll be here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they finished their match, and I look into my wallet, and I'm like, fuck, like, well, I spent all my money already, right? So I always carry. Usually, when my grandpa or my grandma come over, they'll always try to leave me some pesos that they have.
Okay.
As a nice gesture. Of
That's
some sort.
100 pesos is equivalent to how many US dollars?
So I know $20 is no. I'm sorry.
Well, we can look it up later.
We can figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I should know this by heart. But anyway, I throw in my because I didn't have anything, so I just balled up the 100 pesos that my grandpa gave me last time he was here, and I threw them out there. And sure enough, everybody started throwing money at them. I didn't know if it was gonna stick. Like,
wait, did you start it?
I don't know if
one
I did.
too?
No, because
okay.
No, I don't. I won't take credit for it because I threw it. And the peso, if you ever, and I don't have one with me, or else I would show you. The texture is more like plasticky.
Okay.
So you crumble it, and it's like if you're throwing a light piece of plastic, so it doesn't go as far.
Okay, it's lighter.
And I was on stage, so you would think I would make it, but the air took it, and it ended up like on the apron on the side of the stage at Bourbon Street. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, "Fuck!" But then people started throwing dollars, so I couldn't take credit for it. But then I'm like, I'm not gonna leave it there. So I grabbed it and I threw it. I think I saw that piece on YouTube or something where. Like you see my dumbass going up to the apron and grabbing it from there and throwing it in the ring. And Penta sees it, Pentagon sees it, and it's like, oh, I know these.
Nice.
So that was last year. That's crazy. It's been a year.
It's been a year. This is the new Take No Prisoners. I think it should be the number one contender match. Elgin versus
Phoenix.
No, Elgin versus
Sabre.
Zack Sabre Jr. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can do little Zachy 4 belts.
Did you see the picture that what's his name? ACH tweeted with the Zack Sabre jacket.
Like Black Sabre Jr.
Sabre Jr.
Really funny. Yeah, that was great.
So May 6th. Hopefully, I'll be there.
Yeah, May 6th. Then the last match, Ray Phoenix, AR Fox.
Bro, this took me to another level at the end of the match. Like, I'm gonna just fast forward to the
versus OI4K for the tag titles. Fast forward and let me know.
Once it was because there was no, what do they call it, Broadway? Like no decision, like
that's what they call it. They call it Broadway.
So, yeah, it's like a 30-minute Broadway. I think that's the slang,
the lingo.
The lingo.
It went to a draw. So
yeah, it went to a draw. There was no finish.
Draw. Yeah.
And like I don't think I've ever seen AEW do that before. I can't remember the last time they did it. If
you've been to more shows than I, so right. I don't think I've seen it. No.
Because it was looking like they made it believable. There was a back and forth.
Yeah.
Like at first you're like, yeah, it's a good in-ring action, but we know the belts are not going to change. Like I don't think they will.
It's just such a random team to give them to, Fox and Phoenix,
especially when you have the Lucha Brothers things going
on. Right.
I think you mentioned
that would have been more. That would have been more believable if it was Penta and Ray.
Okay, so I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, so anyway, once they were doing those the Swanton and the 450s, AR Fox and Phoenix, like they did that finish once and it was a kick out, and then they went for it again. I'm like, holy shit! Like this could happen. Like I believe that it could be a possibility, and then the bell rings. It's like just from a finish standpoint, like I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like I loved it.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes
people
sense.
started chanting bullshit, but like it was perfect. Like,
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah, it's usually people get pissed at that, but
and it's good. Like I Like, yeah, get pissed at that. Like, you're supposed to. Like,
Right, right. It made sense to me.
Mhm.
Like, it made complete sense. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, some draws, like when a draw happens on, I don't know, like Raw or SmackDown, you're like, or maybe even like a
Has
pay
there
per
been
view.
a draw?
Well, not like a time limit draw, but they have like
The only time
no
limit draw that
decisions
I've
and a bunch of
seen
bullshit like that.
was actually at Blitz, and it was a Tommaso Ciampa match.
Oh, okay.
And mainly I went because I know he was leaving the Indies, and it was also a WrestleFest.
Oh yeah. You went. Oh yeah, you went to that. That was the
Yeah.
most recent WrestleFest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Who did he wrestle at that, Ciampa?
I would
Some
lie
dude?
to you if I made up the name. 'Cause
Okay.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Like, I know I was there for Ciampa, and
Yeah.
I was able to talk to him for a long time there too. So
Yeah, you told me about that.
But yeah, that was the only time I had seen that. No finish. And then the weird thing with Blitz is that they actually ended up adding an extra 5 minutes, and then Ciampa loses. So I'm like, if you're gonna finish it at a no finish, leave it there. Like, whatever.
I agree. Like, decisions like that need to be in the right spot. But if they're in the right spot, they can completely work.
Yeah.
And I thought it completely worked.
And for AAW at Lasalle, Path to Redemption, that was a great finish.
Yeah, I think so. It leaves, maybe they'll do a follow up in August, and like you leave the fans wanting more.
Back in Lasalle, like closing the loop on it.
Yeah, close the loop on it or something like that. Cool. So that was the card. We met a friend there at AAW.
Yeah.
Really, real cool guy. Trent, correct?
Shout out to Trent.
Who works for AAW. Really cool guy. We introduced ourselves because he reached out to us on Twitter.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just chatting him up, and we'll probably talk to him now or like reach out to him and just keep him updated on everything we're doing and make a point to say hi at AAW shows. So I thought that was really cool. That was like a really cool part of the trip was just to know that people are out there and listening. And I think his comment was that we're different, like we're a different kind of podcast. So, and that to me is like a huge compliment because, and I've picked up this term recently. We would be considered like a stooge site.
Okay.
Like there's, you have all the stooge sites. So like just sites who cover wrestling. Like there's some legitimate, there's some more legitimate.
Site yet, bro.
well, we will have
Coming
a site
soon.
coming soon. But it's just going to be like articles we write about. It's not going to be like here rumors or anything like that.
Right. No fucking dirt sheets or.
Yeah,
whatever.
we don't know. We don't know.
Right.
We're not in the dirt sheets, but it's cool. It was cool to hear. That was.
Because that's been the intent all along, just
right.
for us to just sit down, talk wrestling, like experience the indies.
Right, and just be different. We just want to be different. Like when we want to do this for a long time and legitimately, and we don't want to be like the first podcast that I was a part of, Lay at the Mat Down. We had an identity crisis, like we started talking about just things we liked, and then we were like, oh, let's cover rumors and recaps. And well, we just did a recap, but it's on an indie show. But we're like, let's recap.
Right, you guys would recap Raw, SmackDown.
But every podcast does that, right?
Yeah.
So like we all the time, you and I talk about let's just talk about different types of things at the buffet table, and let's like really try to be different.
Right, and it took us a while to even figure out the buffet table.
Yeah,
but initially, at heart, at the core, like is just talking wrestling, and I think one of the things that at least brought us together was like the indie shows, right? Like we weren't like covering WWE all the time and nothing like that. Like it was just a different experience, and I think that's the biggest difference, right? Like every indie show is different. Yeah. And the buffet line is always different. Yeah. So what do you like from it?
Yeah, it's more. This is the shows we are covering that we are recapping are more unique content because you either or we're at the show. You're part of the somewhere between 300 or 700 people who are at the show, or like you bought the DVD or downloaded the MP4. So what, like another 300 on top of that, maybe. So it's just there's still a lot of people out there that haven't that didn't go to Path of Redemption and don't know about it, and we're your source for that, and like some other AAW freelance, any Chicago indie shows that we go to. So that's one of the reasons why we like to talk about this, plus other stuff as well that comes up. But I'm just really, it sat really well with me that he said we were different. I was like, Yes, that's exactly what we want. We don't want to be just like everybody else. We want to have our own identity. So I thought that was probably my favorite part of the trip.
Well, yeah, I mean, for somebody to say, something like that, and somebody from, that listened to the podcast and it's like, you're different, like that's pretty cool. And that's what we're striving for all the time. So
yeah, great. So thanks for joining us on the car ride there, and then joining us
on the recap.
and the recap as well. And really quickly, at 2 Heels in a Face, the number 2 on Twitter. To contribute to the podcast, we don't need you to give us money for. And these are all great venues. We're not asking for any Patreon donations. Right. We're not asking for Amazon links, at least not right now. But I think that's a cool thing we maybe should do in the future. Really, all we're asking is for you to have a conversation with us, comments.
Yeah, shoot us a note, whether that be on Twitter or.
You could do it on SoundCloud.
If you could do it on SoundCloud, or if you want to join the Facebook discussion group that's out there too.
Yeah.
Shoot us a note and we'll send you the invite. It's not a closed group too, right?
No. It's invite only.
Okay, so it is a closed group.
I think
you could find it.
You can find it. You can
request to be.
You can find it and request to be in there. Yeah, okay. But we have like a 2 Heels in a Face discussion group where like anything. It's almost like what Matt Men does with their podcast. But they have a Matt Men discussion group on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool to be in it because you get people just updating you on like different things that are happening.
So much for being different.
Yeah, that's the same. We stole that idea.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of different people that are on there. And just a quick note, I don't know if we covered it, and probably I would, but I think we were talking about it on our way there while we were trying to figure out how we were going to record and make sure we didn't pass up any more exits.
We passed up. We missed 2 exits. It was bad.
I discovered this new world of belt trading, like WWE or ECW, like all these old school belts. Like there's a sneaker world for sneaker trading and buying. Like there's a world like that on Facebook, and I thought it was great just because I've always wanted the Smoking Skull belt.
Yeah, the community, the belt, the championship belt trading community.
Yeah, so like that was awesome to find, and I got added into the group or whatnot. So who knows? I might drop a couple hundred.
You will drop a couple hundred.
No, I'm just subtly hinting, like, hey, my birthday's coming up, Christmas coming up, it's fine, I'll take whatever.
If you're a wrestler and you see Chris at a show, that's your merch guy. You can sell Chris some merch.
Probably.
They see you coming from a mile away. Because I like to
support, the wrestlers, not because I have an addiction.
Oh, great! Yeah, it's for the support of the wrestlers. You can. Yeah. That's what you tell Carlo, right? Yeah. That's what I would tell Carlo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Please just comment on, start a conversation with us.
Let us know what you think.
Give us some feedback, and we'll catch you next time on 2 Heels and a Face Wrestling Podcast. Take care.
Laters.